Have you ever met someone who is incredibly kind, always helpful, always gentle, always willing to show up when you need them? Yet when you really look at them, you sense something heavy behind their smile. Their kindness feels real, but their eyes tell another story. There is a tiredness there, a quiet weariness that most people never notice. We usually talk about kindness like it is a perfect, uncomplicated thing. We teach children to be kind. We praise leaders for their kindness. We judge our own goodness by how much compassion we can show. Kindness feels like a pure form of good, something that cannot go wrong. At least that is what we are taught. The truth is more complicated. Kindness also has a side many people never talk about. A side that grows silently in people who give too much and receive too little. When kindness comes from a place of fear, pressure, or habit instead of genuine desire, it doesn't feel like kindness anymore. It turns into something heavy. It becomes a weight a person carries in silence. It usually starts early in life. A child learns that being soft, agreeable, and helpful earns them approval. When they ignore their own needs to make someone else comfortable, the world rewards them with smiles, praise, or attention they otherwise never received. Slowly, this pattern gets wired into their system. Kindness becomes a way to survive, not just a way to connect. As they grow older, they stop noticing where their real self ends and where everyone else's expectations begin. They become known as the reliable one, the good person, the one who always listens, always helps, never complains. People admire them, yet no one asks what it costs them. Here is the uncomfortable truth. When kindness is forced, when someone gives because they fear being rejected, disliked, or abandoned, it is not kindness anymore. It becomes a mask. It hides the exhaustion, the fear, and sometimes even the anger underneath. And the longer someone wears this mask, the more it suffocates them. Think about someone in your life who is endlessly kind. They will sit with you for hours when you're sad. They will help you even when they are overwhelmed. They will say yes to you even when their entire body is begging them to rest. From the outside, it looks saint-like, almost heroic. But if you have been that person yourself, you know something others don't. Behind every "of course, I can help," there is a small voice asking, "Why doesn't anyone see I'm tired too?" That voice is quiet, but it is there. The problem is that kind people often silence that voice because somewhere deep inside, they believe they're not allowed to put themselves first. Somewhere along the way, they learned that kindness means self-sacrifice. Psychologists have a name for what happens when someone gives too much for too long. It's called compassion fatigue. It describes the emotional and physical burnout that happens when someone carries everyone else's pain while ignoring their own. Healthcare workers feel it. Teachers feel it. Parents feel it. But it doesn't only happen in those roles. Anyone who believes they must always give, always help, always say yes is at risk. Studies show that people who constantly prioritize others at the expense of their own needs experience higher levels of stress, depression, and even physical health problems compared to those who maintain balance. Kindness without boundaries becomes self. It is like watering every plant in a garden except your own. Eventually, the gardener collapses and the whole garden begins to die. What's even more painful is that excessive kindness can unintentionally teach others to overlook you. When people know you as the one who never refuses, they start expecting it. They assume your needs are flexible. They stop asking what you want because they assume you'll adjust. The kinder you are, the more invisible you become. And invisibility does not bring peace. It brings loneliness disguised as politeness. None of this means kindness is wrong. True kindness that comes from a full heart, not an empty one, is one of the most powerful forces in the world. But there is a difference between kindness that comes from abundance and kindness that comes from fear. One heals you, the other drains you. One strengthens relationships, the other slowly destroys the relationship you have with yourself. There is a moment many kind people know too well. Someone asks for help. Your chest tightens for a second. Your mind whispers, "I don't have the energy for this." Yet your mouth still says, "Yes, of course." You smile, even though your body is screaming for rest. It feels easier to carry the burden than to risk disappointing someone. This is where kindness quietly turns into self-abandonment. Most people assume kind individuals live peaceful lives, but the inner world of a chronic giver is anything but peaceful. Every time they choose someone else over themselves, a small part of them goes silent. Over the years, that silence grows heavier. It becomes a kind of emotional fog that follows them everywhere. Researchers have found something important. When kindness is motivated by guilt, fear, or obligation, it stops being uplifting. It actually increases stress and lowers happiness. In one study, people who could not say no experienced more burnout than those who practiced healthy boundaries. Another study showed that kindness only boosts well-being when it comes from a genuine desire to help, not from the fear of upsetting others. That difference is huge, yet countless people remain stuck in this cycle. They don't want to be seen as selfish. They don't want to be the reason someone else is upset. They don't want to lose relationships. So they keep giving. They keep stretching themselves. They keep disappearing piece by piece. The danger is that you can lose your sense of identity without even realizing it. When your life becomes built around pleasing others, you stop knowing what you like, what you need, what you feel. Even your dreams become unclear because they were never given space to grow. You become a visitor inside your own life. This is where the monster within begins to form. Not because kind people are bad, but because suppressed emotions never stay quiet forever. When you keep swallowing your frustration, when you keep burying your needs, when you smile to hide your irritation, the pressure builds inside you. Anger, resentment, exhaustion, they don't disappear. They ferment. Eventually something small can trigger an explosion. Maybe you snap at a friend over something minor. Maybe you cry over something simple. Maybe you suddenly feel empty and don't know why. The reaction often frightens you because it feels like it came out of nowhere. In truth, it didn't. It was building for years. We like to believe kindness protects us from darkness, but that is not always true. Kindness without honesty invites darkness in. When you constantly agree to things you don't want, when you pretend to be okay just to keep peace, when you silence your needs to protect someone else's comfort, you are not practicing kindness. You are neglecting yourself, and neglect always has consequences. Why does this happen? Why do kind people struggle more than others with boundaries? The answer is rooted in how we learn to value ourselves. Many people grow up in environments where affection depends on behavior. If you're good, you're loved. If you're quiet, you're praised. If you're helpful, you're accepted. A child who learns love must be earned grows into an adult who believes they must perform kindness to deserve connection. This pattern becomes so deeply embedded that even as adults, they confuse people-pleasing with kindness. They believe saying no is rude. They believe resting is lazy. They believe taking care of themselves is selfish. They don't realize the truth. Real kindness never demands that you disappear. Real kindness includes you. If your kindness is draining your mental health, your joy, or your peace, then it's not kindness anymore. It's self-neglect wrapped in politeness. Neuroscience gives us more insight. Human brains are equipped with something called mirror neurons. These neurons help us empathize by allowing us to feel what others feel. This makes kindness natural for us. We are wired to care. But mirror neurons cannot tell the difference between healthy empathy and harmful empathy. If you constantly absorb the emotional pain of others without any boundaries, your brain goes into stress mode. Over time, this leads to emotional exhaustion, anxiety, and even physical symptoms. So the problem is not kindness itself. The problem is kindness without balance. Kindness without limits. Kindness shaped by fear. Kindness shaped by old wounds. It becomes something that looks gentle on the outside, but slowly empties you from the inside. This is why many genuinely kind people reach a breaking point. The world celebrates their giving spirit, but no one teaches them how to protect themselves from drowning in their own compassion. They don't understand that empathy also needs oxygen. Without balance, kindness collapses into fatigue. If you felt this tired kindness, this invisible exhaustion, you're not alone. You're not weak. You're simply carrying a burden no one taught you how to put down.